All right, we are back. New computer, little technical difficulties. Two locations trying to do that, and the issue was on my end. So
Yeah, not me for once, so that's good.
shocking. But yeah, it's gonna be a bummer. This when you guys listen to this thing, you listen to the final version. You should really listen to this because it's gonna be a freaking masterpiece editing this thing.
You hope.
I'll be up all night editing
Yeah,
this.
you hope.
All right, let me send
All
it
right.
out to some of our faithful following that was waiting. Oh, try this again. Blinkers off. Is back recording after some technical difficulties. All right. Needs to say that this won't be a masterpiece looking at
No.
the actual live version of it. So So I've got two computers pulled up. One's hopefully saving the document that I was recording our audio on earlier, and one is for this. So you ready to go?
Let's do it.
I think the issue happened when we were recording the. Um, hang on, let me fix that. Edit. Okay, I think the issue happened when we were recording the right. We got into the Gotham, so I'd like to start from there.
All right.
Yeah, we're back, Dennis. So you're probably the only one that got back on here. So, all right, three. Hang on. I don't trust Equibase. I'm gonna blame Equibase for the issue. I
That
probably
makes
locked up my
sense.
computer, so I'll pull it up on my phone. So I don't have. All right. Three, two, one. All right, now let's go to New York for the Grade 3 Gotham Stakes. This is race 10 on the program. Going a mile, kind of a weird thing that they do where you run a mile and eighth race earlier in the end of last year for 2-year-olds, and now you've got a mile race again here for the prep. But a field of 8 lines up for this one 50, 20, 10, 5 for your top 4 finishers. Really, the storyline of this race, the last race we talked about with Tampa Bay, the storyline being horses that are going to step up or need to step up. The storyline here is Instagram. Really, I mean that's got to be it because to a lot of people this is a potential Derby winner. You know, I remember whenever he ran last time out, which is by the way, it's the last time he's ran. It's August 11th. But when he ran, I was like, it's early, but that's a Derby winner, you know? And so here we are. I've been waiting. A lot's happened since. Are you still on that bandwagon?
No, I'm definitely not on the Derby winner bandwagon, but obviously the horse racing world is ready to see this. He has to come back eventually. He finally does. It seems like it's another lifetime ago when he was entered in a race and won, which was at Del Mar, back in the middle of August. So excited to see him back. This is like we kind of said at the beginning. This is the most exciting race of the weekend. I'm confident that Instagram can win. I feel it's a lot like Hidden Scroll last week, where he does have something to prove. And I think there's a few logical horses underneath that you can play with him to hopefully get the prices in the exotics, just like last week. So Instagram going to be on top for me. Not that Brady, the 7 horse. That's a horse I really like. Cutting back from a mile and an eighth in the Withers last time out, where he nearly won. He got second in that race by a head. Now he cuts back and he's going to go to the 1 turn mile where he's 2 for 2. So not that Brady, very interesting to me. And then, of course, Bob Baffert sends much better. This is not a very hyped horse as far as a Baffert horse is concerned, but 10-1 on the morning line, Baffert and Mike Smith. He's shipping this horse in for a reason. This horse is pretty good on the dirt. They tried the turf, which was an odd experiment. It didn't work out for him, but dirt, this horse is pretty good. Never missed the board and won by 3 last time out. So those are the 3. And then, of course, Mind Control. I think he's going to play a factor here. He does his best running up on the lead, but I do believe he can come off the pace a little bit with this kind of setup today.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned, let's start first talking Instagram. I mean, he's going to be my play just because it's like whenever you like a horse so much, I can't just say, oh, he hasn't ran since August. He's a different horse now. He may not be any good. I still have to see it through. I mean, because I still believe in his talent. Now, there has been a lot of alarming things that have happened as far as not waiting this long. You have an owner who you just don't know when and where he's going to run next. He's come out and said that I don't know if he's a one-turn horse or like a Derby type horse, and so we still have to wait on that. That's that in itself is scary. So there's a lot of question marks, and Slim has this guy on his team, and we knew it all along. The guy that's fortunate/unfortunate enough to get to the point in the draft where he's available is you knew that this is a very real possibility, right? Where you don't know when he's going to start, and it's happened here. Things considered, what's happened in Santa Anita, this worked out kind of nicely. The fact that he's sitting here in New York, and the plan all along, I guess, was to run here. So,
I guess.
But yeah, he's my pick.
The last lap.
Yeah, exactly. He's my pick. It's almost like just prove me wrong. Now the question is with him is even if he goes out and wins, it's still a mile race. Like he still hasn't proved a ton to you to say, hey, he's the Derby, especially whenever, say, next week or whatever, we have the Rebel and maybe if we have Improbable and have Game Winner or whatnot. I mean, it's like, do you really have enough to say, okay, this, he's enough? Now, the one thing that would be impressive to see is if he draws off, because there's a ton of speed in this race. You would think Nixco is going to go this time after whatever that last effort was or last attempt was. Mind Control, we know, has got plenty of speed up front. Much better. It's got speed with Bob Baffert, like you mentioned that horse. That really interesting. Not that Brady as well, like you said. So there's a lot of speed, and if he's able to say, if he's like the speed of speed and draws off, well, that to me would be super impressive. Now, on the flip side, if he lets that speed get to him, and he turns out to be kind of flat, similar to, say, he looks like Hidden Scroll when they hit to the top of the stretch, that's highly alarming.
Well, it's a mile race instead of a mile 16th. It's one turn instead of two, so that's the advantage he's going to have. Even if he can go fast up front, he might be able to hold on if he's fit enough.
And what's key, what's funny is we'd be talking about a horse that could potentially be like what? I mean, if he really wins impressively, he's a top 1 or 2, 3, as far as Derby potential, and it'll be April, and we'll be still saying, and by the way, if he wins, it wouldn't shock any of us if he trains to the Derby, and this is a horse who, if after this weekend, will still have not ever gone 2 turns,
right, and would be qualified for the Kentucky Derby with 50 points if he wins this weekend. And then a horse that wins the Rebel, if he has 0 points, which would be a 2-turn race over Game Winner and Probable, would not be in. So there you go if they split it. So there's another good decision. But yeah, that's why the question: are you buying him for the Derby? No. Are you buying him for this race? Yeah, I mean he should win. He's the best horse in the race. He's got the most talent, and a mile 1 turn is really going to be in his wheelhouse. And really, a mile 16th going 2 turns would be in his wheelhouse too if he would have chose that route. So. He gets the last laugh. He gets away. There's a ton of speed. People are kind of looking towards closers. People are kind of looking towards high cal. I just don't know if he's talented enough. I really think it's going to be the winner is going to be the horse that either is the speed of the speed, Instagram, or the horse that can kind of sit off of it a little bit.
Yeah, you got Bob Baffert, you got Mike Smith coming into town. If they're anywhere in remotely close to 10-1, which I would find shocking, this is a horse, much better as a horse you got to play, because I know, you say, well, in the Sham going a mile, he finished 3rd against 2, so-so horses. He looked really good the next time, and he still could be developing. And there's a reason why Bob Baffert, and this wasn't one of those things where it's like, oh, I got to find somewhere to run. I mean, he decided to run this horse 2 weeks ago, So you got to take that into account. it's a tricky one moving forward, no matter what happens again, because it's a mile race and it's hard to say. Mind control could very well win this race. It would not shock me the least bit. He won this race or won the mile running of the Jerome earlier in the year, and it's like if he wins this race, I'm gonna be like, big deal. I mean, yeah, it's 2, he's won there, and he's in the Derby, but I give him no shot to win the Kentucky Derby. So it's a weird setup, to say the least. But are you on Instagram? Is that who you're gonna roll with?
Yeah, I got to go with him on top, but I will play those other horses. And again, I will box it this week, just like last week. I don't think you need to rely on him. If he loses, I think you still need to be able to win with some tickets. So yeah, but yes, on top, Instagram.
Yeah, I'm with you. Instagram's a pick for me. Yeah, Dennis. I mean, I get it. It's a tough race, and it's a tough race to not like. But at the same time, I think it's a very interesting race, and it's a must-watch race because you still have to go into this thinking that Instagram could be the best. I mean, let's just say he could be the best 3-year-old in the country. Could be.
Could.
I'm not going to say he is, but he's got a lot of proving left to do. But
yeah,
he's in the more of that ballpark than a lot of them.
Yeah, he is.
So I'm interested to see. It's a tough race to prove anything to me because we don't know a mile. I mean, you win a race at a mile, big deal. Great attempt to win a race at a mile at Oakland. You know what I mean? Like that's great, fantastic.
Yep. No, you're right.
All right, now this one's a good one, I think, because if you don't like Some Like a Hot Brown or you just don't like to play a chalk, you can just have freaking fun with this one.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. And finally, let's head to Turfway. One of the few times of the year we talk Turfway on this podcast, and let's go to the Jeff Ruby Stakes. It's not... Thankfully, it's not a 50, 20, 10, 5 race because it's not worth it, but 20 points to the winner, 8, 4, 2 for your next 3. So you still get some points. It's still worth something. It's still important to run well here, but it historically shows you that it doesn't really matter. I mean, these horses that don't typically come, this isn't a solid prep into the Kentucky Derby. In fact, there's horses in this race. I read a lot of quotes from different trainers that are in this race saying, unless he does something crazy, he's not on the road to the Kentucky Derby. I mean, it's like, but yet this is worth 20 points. Okay, so you've got a field of 11 lined up for this one, and it's led by number 10, Some Like a Hot Brown, at 8-5. I mean, I'm kicking myself. I'll be kicking myself if he doesn't win. I think a lot of the league will be because it kind of is an opportunity to take advantage of. In our league, we still get same value because it is part of the same series of the championship races, 50 points for the winner. And he looked good in that prep for this race on his first start on synthetics. He was more a turf horse, a quality turf horse who got third in the Breeders' Cup, second in the Pilgrim. With anticipation, he got second. I mean, this is a horse that's faced some good horses. Went to synthetic and ran. He ran okay. Like, it wasn't earth shattering, but he didn't face much in the race. But he ran well enough to be the 8-5 favorite here.
Yeah, I mean, this race is totally trash. And by the way, the winner of this race only gets 17.5 less points than the winner of the Rebel if they split into 2 divisions. Just to keep the logic going here, it makes a lot of sense. So this race, you know what? I say it's trash when it comes to the Kentucky Derby because it's been, other than Animal Kingdom, we just haven't had much lately. I mean, I know historically maybe this has produced a couple, but this lately it's just kind of been, like you said, it's just kind of been a fun race to kind of watch and wager on.
Right.
Listen, I can't go against something like a Hot Brown. I just can't do it. This horse nearly got home for me at the Breeders' Cup in the juvenile turf at a massive price. I thought he was going to do it the whole way.
Oh, he ran his eyeballs out, man.
Yeah, still got third. I was proud of him, and he came here for the prep here and looked really, really good. I think he's going to handle this field. I didn't dive too deep into analyzing this. I think Some Like a Hot Brown is the best horse. I think, I just like, who are you going to go with other than him? I thought 5-Star General was the horse I almost kind of went with. He's done well on off the turf events, kind of sloppy tracks. Maybe that's going to equate to this track. but there's not a lot of horses that have been over it. So I'm going to go with something like a Hot Brown to win. But am I going to be shocked if he loses? No.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like he's gonna be like to me. It's not hard to say he's the most logical winner of the race, and that's who I would
No.
pick to win the race. And I think one of the reasons why I wanted to draft him was I thought, well, he can win. He can win here, and then he'll have 20 points, which will give him enough confidence, and he's got the class to obviously give it a go to run somewhere next. Like I was expecting they would run him next because it's Maker, probably the Bluegrass, maybe the Lexington. You could argue running this race and running the Lexington and have the two easiest preps you can get and get 40 win with both of them, get 40 points, and you're in the Kentucky Derby. We still don't know, and we just won't answer any questions of what he will do on the dirt. His debut on the dirt was not good. It was on a very sloppy track at Saratoga, so you kind of have that built-in excuse. Listen, he's the most logical horse to win the race. The reason why I didn't draft him or didn't claim him, and I think the same way as a lot of people, was that you didn't want to waste the money or the points on a horse that if he backfires, he's done. There's no rebounding whatsoever. Having said that, if you're not, there's a lot in here. I feel like you have to take shots, right? But prices, like, cause he's going to be pounded, and this is a funky race, So you never know if he's just not as good. It's going a mile and 8, so you've got a grade 3 $200,000 race for a 3-year-old going a mile and 8. It's on synthetic, on all weather, which is we talked about earlier is expected to. Chance of rain is high, so like it could be a weird day. So here's a few horses I like that aren't named somehow, something like a Hot Brown. The horse that finished second to him, I don't love Dynamic Racer, but I mean, could he change it? Turn the tables? Could 5-star General 6-1 is interesting. Finished 6th in the Sam F. Davis last out, but really looked good a couple races prior to that. Skywire for Cassie, could he have another good horse? Debuted on synthetics at Woodbine and looked really good that day. Undefeated, won by 6 last time out at Gulfstream Park. So he's really interesting. He'll be the second choice here. Counteroffer was one that I kind of wanted to pick. I love Ian Wilkes. Gets a really hot regular local rider in Franklin. What was interesting to me, he finished second to So Alive at Tampa. Didn't finish 4th. I mean, distance 4th, mind you, but everyone was besides Kentucky Wildcat and Well Defined in the Sam F. Davis. You would think that he would just keep him here, right? Or keep him there at Tampa because he's been running okay. But here he comes in here, and according to him, this was the plan all along to run him in this race. So, interesting horse that seems to be kind of improving with each race. The Neverland horse, this 8 horse isn't bad. Curlin Gray for McPeak, that's the kind of horse that McPeak wins with. That ones that are just kind of illogical. Is a Curlin, gets Hernandez here. Had ridden the horse the last 2 efforts. And really in 2019, Curlin Gray has started to run a little bit better with each start, and seems like the more ground, the better. So the mile and 8th, last time out finished 3rd to Global Campaign. You listen, he would have to step up. They would all have to step up. But if something, it wouldn't surprise me if one of them did. And then, your favorite horse, surprised you didn't pick Speed App, for D Wayne, throwing in a little wild card here. But no, I think this is the kind of race where you've got to take, if you're going to take a shot against, you got to take a shot against. You got to put in everyone. Because I just listed 4, 5, 6 horses there that I think could win if something like a Hot Brown doesn't, live up to the hype. Now, the one thing you have to, other than that, if you're wanting to play him a really positive sign, look who he gets in to ride. Gaffalione comes in to ride, skipping a day of racing at Gulfstream Park to come ride this horse. First time he had ridden this horse. So positive sign there. Most likely winner. Some like a Hot Brown. I think he's going to win.
That was way too long for that stupid race.
I'm telling you, though, I almost picked Curlin Gray and I almost picked Counteroffer.
Yeah, I could see it.
Just because part of me is I don't want something like a Hot Brown to win, just because that was 50 points I was going to get.
Right.
Yeah, Dennis. Everyone but the 5, basically. I didn't like Didn't like Baytown Jimbo.
No.
Love the name though.
Speed app is not going to win anything.
No. Counter offer I liked. I thought that was an interesting move. I feel like by Ian to run two good ones, decent ones, I should say, and to come here. I feel like you want a horse that's going to be banging up there late.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody's finishing,
but we'll see. I definitely would not be like something like a Hot Brown is no lock to win the race. So
no, absolutely not.
All right, let's close it up.
All right, you just got dark here. Holy cow!
I don't know if you could tell. Like I was like, my dog came in, Millie came in. Like I was like trying to like wrangle her up because I feel like she's got to go to the bathroom and trying to keep her from going. All right, 3, 2, 1. So all the time we have, check us out at racingnews.com for our free picks and our premium selections on our handicapping products page. Click the handicapping products link on the main menu at racingnews.com to learn more. We're kind of up in limbo at the moment. Next week we will have a wagering guide. We just aren't completely positive which wagering guide. The big cap wagering guide was supposed to come out this weekend. Obviously that's not happening. We likely think it's going to be the Rebel wagering guide at this point, assuming the San Felipe is not running. There will be a wager guide next week, and I think it's going to be
100% chance it's going to be the Rebel.
Okay.
Not running those races.
99.99999% chance it will be the Rebel, especially if it's not just you got a great card that day, and then they split the Rebel. You got two Rebels to talk about, so it'll be an awesome guide. Then we have the upcoming Florida Derby wagering guide is available as well. So basically, if you are a subscriber during the periods of time those races are in, you get those wagering guides for free. So go to racingnews.com to learn more about that. We got new subscription options as well. So if you want more than just a 30-day pass, you can get a 3-month pass, you can get a 6-month pass, and you can email us if you want longer. We'll hook you up for as long as you want. So racingnews.com, handicapping products page to learn more and check out those wagering guides coming out very soon. We're currently covering 20 tracks now, all offering free picks. We're on Twitter at Racer_Dudes, Instagram, Google Plus, Facebook. Listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, even our website at racingdudes.com. I believe the Magic Mike Show will have the All Stakes, or I think it's an All Stakes, or it's the Cross Country Pick 5, I think. They're going to have a preview for that coming out. Should be out when this podcast is out as well, so make sure you check that out. All right, I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Alterman. Good luck this weekend.
Let me get this set up for you here.
Mm-hmm. It's all right. Dennis, it's fine. People didn't come back. I didn't expect them to come back.
No.
But, you're back, so that's all that matters. Really the thing with these live things is it's still new, so we're just doing it. We're doing this. The biggest thing for us is getting the raw audio so we can do the actual podcast that we do, which gets a lot of listeners. That we understand during the middle of the day, it's hard for people to get on here and watch. I feel like we had a pretty good following on the first one before it messed up. But we appreciate you getting back on here.
Is Dennis the only one on?
No, there's a couple people, but he's the only one chatting. He's chatting. Turfway News, really, are good friends. I think either this week or next week. He said he's leaving Kentucky and going to Gulfstream. So you want to know that? All right.
What was that?
The Rogelio from Turfway is leaving and going to Gulfstream.
Okay.
I don't know enough about Turfway. I follow the stakes and that's it. Halterman would be your Turfway advisor.
So you watch 2 races a year from Turfway?
Yeah.
They run the Battaglia and then they run this day, and that's they got a couple of the little ones as well. But yeah, it's not a bad little meet.
It's one of the few tracks left in the country running on the all-weather. So,
yeah. How about there was a really recent famous horse that won at Turfway on debut. You know who that was? It was like 4 years ago, maybe 5. Oh, time slips away.
Animal Kingdom?
No, he didn't debut there. He did win there.
Who?
It was a sprinter. Won the 2005 Breeders' Cup Sprint.
I don't know.
Run Happy.
2005?
15. I'm sorry. 2015.
Okay. Yeah. I was like, no.
I'm tired. Yeah, 2015. Yeah.
Dennis had it, but hey, 2005 threw me off. 2015, I could have told you because I remember Keenan. So
Run Happy. I think it was his debut race, and he was wild and won. Like he was a nut and won.
Yeah, I do remember that now. I've got some really happy news. So I'm on my laptop,
Mm-hmm.
and so my because I was on the other computer when it messed up, and I have another software that is recording the raw audio. And while we were doing it, I believe it recovered the raw audio. So
there you go. See, you worried for nothing.
I think we'll see. It might sound terrible, but we'll see.
Yeah, you worried for nothing. Well, we got it done. That's the good news. We got it done. So,
dude, Dennis, you got to listen to the real podcast, because once you hear the real one, you're gonna say, because you were on this whole time, you're gonna be like, that Jared is unbelievable editor, because it's gonna sound perfect and you'll never know anything happened.
Yeah.
But to the people that were here, it was a freaking train wreck.
Yeah. Good news is the real podcast gets, I don't know, like 10,000 more listens than this. So
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next week we'll be together, I think, for the podcast, The Rebel.
Yeah, we will, and then we'll be together going to the Rebel. So
yeah, going to the Rebel. If you're gonna be at Oaklawn next week,
be there Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
And then a couple weeks we'll go to the Florida Derby. Yep. Plan was to go to the Santa Anita Derby following. I have no idea how that's going to happen.
Or when it's going to happen. I think we better cancel that one. Maybe go to the Bluegrass instead or something. I don't know.
That's a good one. Dennis said we have the looks. Maybe he said I have the look. Well, you have the looks of a podcast person. Yeah, that makes sense. So that's why we don't do. That's why we've never done on air.
Jesus, Dennis, come on, man.
That's rough.
That is rough. I'm at a bar actually right now.
Yeah, if no one mentioned that you can tell you switched locations since the issue happened.
Yeah, and then it was light when I came in, and then it's getting dark up here pretty quick. So,
all right, well, let's get off here, and because I got about 16 hours of editing ahead of me. So
yeah, I know I got to send this to you. All right.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in, and we'll be back next week, and no issues.